Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear viewers, today we are with a new topic that is how divine remedies affect diseases. Allah has created the son of Adam alayhi salam and his body's organs and designated a state of perfection that each organ could attain and achieve. So, consequently, when the organ loses its perfection, it feels pain. Allah has also designated a state of perfection for the heart, the leader of the organs. When the heart loses its perfection, it will fall down with various ills and sickness, such as sadness, grief, and anguish. So, furthermore, when the eye loses what it was created for. The sight, when the ear loses what it was created for hearing, and when the tongue loses its taste, what it was created for speech, and these organs will have lost their perfection. See, the heart was created to acquire knowledge of its creator and to love him, worship him alone, be content with him, to be joyous, loving Him, and feel satisfied with Him. The heart was also created to rely on Allah, to love for His sake, hate for His sake, to be loyal for His sake, to be enemies of His enemies for His sake, and to remember Him always and always. The heart was also created to love Him for more than anyone or anything else, to have hope in Him rather than anyone or anything else, and to revere Him more than anything or anyone else. There is no joy, happiness, delight, or sweetness except by acquiring such qualities, which are just like food, good health, and life for the heart. When the heart loses its food, health and life, and then sadness, grief, and affliction will attack it from all sides and will remain with it. The worst diseases that attack the heart are shirk, that is polytheism. We call it in English polytheism, making partner or associating partners with Allah. This is a big disease and this is a big crime which people, a lot of maximum people, they call themselves liberal, they are unaware of it. So inshallah, people, so Muslims should do more dawah to be let the people know that shirk is a big disease and a big crime. So and also sins and forgetfulness, ignoring what Allah likes and is pleased with, abandoning related all matters to Him and not depending on Him for everything. See, diseases of the heart also include relying on other than Allah, rejecting His decisions and doubting and ignoring His warnings and promises. So, when one thinks about the diseases of the heart, he will find that the reasons that we have mentioned above, that we have said, see, only ones behind these ills. Consequently, the only effective remedies for these ills are their opposites and antidotes that the prophetic remedies contain. We see thing is that we people very even Muslims we don't practice really Tawheed, because Tawheed is the first thing when one person comes to Iman, so accept Islam. Tawheed is the first thing. So Tawheed opens the door to all types of good, happiness, joy, elation, and enjoyment for the slave. Also, repenting to Allah extracts all types of harmful, sinful causes of the heart's ailment. Further, Tawheed is the diet of the heart against bad substances, for it closes the door of evil, the door of happiness, and all types of good will be opened with Tawheed, while repentance and seeking forgiveness will close the doors of evil. See, Doctor of the Old also said, whoever seeks to acquire good health for the body should consume less amount of food and drink. Whoever seeks the well-being of his heart, let him abandon sin. Also, Sabit ibn Qurayat said, the body's well-being requires consuming less food, the soul's comfort is in committing less sins, and the consolation of the tongue is in uttering less speech. Sins are just like the poison of the heart. If they do not destroy it, they will weaken it. Then, when the heart is weaker, it will become less efficient in fighting disease. The biggest of the heart's ill occur by satisfying its lust and desires, while ignoring them constitutes its biggest cure. We should also mention that originally, actually, ignorance and injustice were created in the self because the self is ignorant. It thinks that its cure is in following its desire, although this path leads to its destruction and demise. And because the self is unjust, it does not accept the prescription of the sincere doctor. Consequently, when the self is prescribed the ailment instead of the cure, it accepts it, while refusing to take the cure when it is prescribed. See, and because the self prefers the illness rather than the cure, which it tries to avoid, many other illness and the diseases will break out, and by then the doctor will not able to diagnose them, and consequently the cure will not be available. The biggest calamity of all this is that the self absolves it of guilt and blames fate and its lord inwardly in the beginning of then explicitly later on. When the helmet person actually reaches this stage, there is no hope of curing him. Because unless the mercy of the Lord rushes to his aid and Allah allows him to start a new life while providing him with the required sustenance. This is why the hadith that Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu has narrated about the supplication during the time of distress contained unity, that is Tawheed of Allah in Lordship and worship and glorifying Him and mentioning His being most the most forbearing. These true attributes, glory and forbearing, are necessary to add perfection to the attributes of ability, mercy, kindness, and forgiveness. Also, the same hadith describes Allah's lordship above the upper and lower worlds and above the throne, which is the ceiling and the mightiest of all creation. Affirming perfect lordship to Allah requires worshipping Him alone, that is Tawheed. Believing and worshipping Allah and loving, fearing, hoping, glorifying and owing Him alone. Also, affirming Allah's perfect glory requires affirming and attributing every type of perfection to Him and denying every type of shortcoming and being equated with the creation. Allah's being most forbearing necessities affirming the perfection of His mercy and kindness towards His creation. When the heart has the access to these facts, it will seek to acquire the qualities of loving Allah and glorifying Him in Tawheed. Then the heart will acquire and enjoy such elation and delight, and will allow to overcome the feelings of affliction, sadness, and grief. Otherwise, no other way is left. It is the fact that whenever the sick person hears of what brings happiness and joy to his heart, the body will more effective in resisting the ailment. See, This is the only cure, because otherwise there is no other cure than Tawheed in this matter of heart. So, inshallah, we'll continue this topic. Otherwise, the video would be long. Inshallah, we'll continue. So, please do like and subscribe this channel, and uh, continue to also please comment on this. Till then, Jazakallah khair.